What's up, everyone?
What's going on? YouTube family, we're back again. Sunday, just want to jump on here and continue the pace, continue the discipline of just giving you guys the information necessary to reach your goals, to better prepare, to be the 3 to 5%.
So we're going to talk a little bit now. We have in season coming up for groups of athletes.
Yeah.
Soccer, football,
basketball. I mean, within the next 3 to 5 months, and that's what we're talking about.
What can you do in season, and what do premier athletes do in season to stay at the top level, to perform at the top level, and to continue getting better every season?
Right. So I know, because we'll just talk about this new, the current one is football, right? Everyone's starting football practice, conditioning. We're getting, you guys are getting with the team. You guys are starting to learn, the playbook, et cetera, et cetera. It starts then. It starts right then with, on a Sunday night, preparing the week out of food. Have that thought out, right? Football games, if you're varsity, is on Friday, right? So it starts with a Sunday all the way to the next Sunday. Hydration, making sure you're getting plenty of rest, right? And then making sure that you're really... So
we're gonna go on 3 points. Our first one, again, as you've heard us say, is your nutrition. So that's what Coach is saying. Coach is saying, because sometimes you hear like, hey, what's the best meal to eat, the night before, you have a game or something like that. Honestly, guys, there is no this secret meal that you have to eat that's going to get you a certain amount of energy. It's the day in and the day out consistency of the grind, which is Coach is saying it's Sunday, it's preparing. Because if you're, out on practice and doing all this stuff Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, let's say you're a little bit dehydrated. You think you're going to make all that up on a Thursday night by just drinking a gallon of water? No, the body doesn't work that way. So you got to make sure that you're not dehydrated Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? All this stuff leads up. What are you eating Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday? And so we go over that with our athletes on meals that you eat that feel good on your stomach, that give you energy. Everyone can be a little bit different. But like Coach said, like the myth of the, pasta, the big pasta meal before, like that's a myth, guys.
Yeah.
That's something that is a more traditional, easy thing to kind of just say. Are there better carbohydrates? Are there carbohydrates that can still give you energy for the game? Absolutely. There are also carbohydrates that turn very quickly to sugar, or sugars that also give you crashes. And so you really wanted to avoid that. And that's why I'm really big on quality of food. Your vegetables, your nutrient-dense food, and then you can have your starches and carbohydrates that also give you energy, and also the amount of protein you're eating. And a lot of that comes with your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, high quality meals, and very high quality snacks that you're eating. Are you doing that on a daily basis? Are you consistent?
Right. Are you starting first thing in the morning with a glass of water? There's a number of ounces. Just grab a glass of water, start there. Right? And then as you get through the season, or as you start to build a better routine, you can add whatever feels good. Maybe it's 2 glasses, maybe it's, a liter. I don't know. Everyone's a little different. You do want to have enough room so that you can eat a breakfast, right? To break that fast. And you're going to hear many things about all these intermittent fasting, stuff like that. You're an athlete. You got to charge up. You got to prepare yourself for the day. You got tons of physical activity.
Yeah, especially being young.
Right. And we're in Florida, so you guys know it's hot in Florida. So you have to prepare for that. And that's just what we're trying to touch bases with. You want to stay away from white flours, right? If you live in America, understand there's sugars and things and additives and all of those flours, pastas, breads. Sorry for you bread and pasta eaters, but there's a better way to prepare. But like Coach Daphne's saying, there's no perfect recipe. Find what's good on your stomach, and that's what you work with.
Our starches, I'll just say, like we do have a protein pancake. We have a pretty banging protein pancake
We do.
that we eat. And in this one, we actually do use some of the Kodiak brand mix. We add an egg, we add protein powder, cinnamon, and some almond milk and some other things. So that's like a good go-to for us. We don't top it with syrup. We top it with honey. We do that. But oatmeal and sweet potatoes and white potatoes, those are kind of like a main starch. Occasionally like a chicken wrap or something like that, like we'll have like a tortilla because we'll have a wrap.
Right. And that's okay. So see, we're not even 100% on everything, but we definitely are a 90-10, right? 90% of the nutrition is high quality.
Yeah.
That 10%, that wiggle room, because you're on the go, whatever, right? You run out of groceries, maybe you have to stop and grab something. So that's the 10% you should be able to adjust on.
And amongst all that, obviously, we're not big red meat eaters, but we do eat a lot of chicken. We eat a lot of eggs.
A lot of fish.
And we supplement protein with quality protein powders. So we'll do that too. So that's where we get, a good bulk of our protein.
And that's whey, collagen, and plant. So we don't discriminate.
Yeah. And then, fruits and veggies. Like a snack that Coach will eat. Lots of times if he's going to like a quick grab kind of snack is some like meat rolls, some type of meat, or even like some type of like, sometimes like deli meat and a bowl of mixed berries.
I go for
that's
the
kind of
heads.
like a go-to.
Yeah, I go for the boar heads, low sodium. So you try what you can try, right? We understand not everything is going to be extreme, perfect.
But that's a go-to versus like a fast food.
Correct.
Like we don't go to fast food.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I know that's a big killer for everyone's like, oh my God, how do you? Well, because you just do it. Like if you got to swing by Publix and grab something like that versus swinging by Chick-fil-A and grabbing a sandwich.
You always have a choice, right?
Yeah.
You always got a choice.
These are the things. Again, we're talking about the athletes that are going to be, the 3 to 5%. These are the decisions that they are making.
Which brings us into point number 2.
Yes.
Film study, mindset, sports IQ, right? Bundle that all up. We're going to talk a little bit about the film study containing...
particularly for the in-season, because there's an off-season protocol you want to take.
And then also too, man, how not to lose your confidence, right? How to mentally prepare yourself week after week when a game doesn't go exactly how you want. A practice, in your film study, are you spending time looking at the wrong information? I mean, are you grabbing what you did from the last game, know what you did wrong, correct that during practice, but then moving forward to gain confidence to prepare for the next team, do film study on the teams or even players that you're going to go up against. I was
going to say, so how is that when you faced an opponent that...
So I was a huge film study guy. I grabbed as much as I could. If I knew someone was playing, it was a little bit different when I was playing, semi-pro and overseas and stuff like that. You had opportunities to go see games, or I could grab film from other people. And it's almost like in the same thing in basketball. But I would just watch film. And I'd watch film on any opponent that I know I'm going against, specifically skill position players. But I watched what they did well. Like I always was saying, hey, let me take something from them to add to my game. My own personal journey was really more so that was easy for me. I messed up on these little areas. Let me clean that up. Have no conscience about it. I'm driving forward with that. I'm not a dog, I'm a lion. Like I never dwelled on a lot of things. And some people thought I was overconfident, but that was easy for me. I have an identity. I understand that I was called to be in the moments. I like moments like that. And if you don't, you still can kind of build into that game maker, that playmaker in the game. So film study, huge.
Well, that's a big thing too, because sometimes people look at a moment and they categorize it as failure. Well, it's only failure if you choose to make it failure and if you choose to not learn from it, because anything you do in life, it works for you or it works on you. So no matter what the situation is, no matter how it turned out, you can use it for your power to make it work on you and change you for the next moment, you know.
Yeah,
So
I did not dwell on a mistake. I looked at it as a lesson. Like I really was, that was easy for me. Could have been some of my upbringing. You had to have a strong mindset with kind of growing up, with the versatility of the things I had to go through. I'm not the only one on this planet, but I took that to the positive side. I wasn't, I didn't really dwell on stuff like that. I always knew I got another opportunity, so let me make the most of it. So when you were doing your competitions, right? Like it was like you just didn't wake up on the day of the event and just, hey man, I'm gonna go and do all these lifts. You probably had some preparation.
Well, there was a lot of preparation into it. You got to break things down, which is, I guess, the same thing as, in a sense, what you do in film study, even in techniques. Obviously, talking with like teammates when we did team events on, who's pulling the weight where, how can we help each other out, in situations that, we bring out each other's strengths, and, teammates would help cover some of your weaknesses. And so, that type of communication and being strategic, would help. Now, it didn't always work out that perfect way, and how you planned it. But then, like Coach said, like that's how you make your adjustments. And so you could go back. We didn't necessarily in competition style have like a, film study, but you do watch your events after, and you can see where you could take time off, or you can see where there was an opportunity to make maybe a different switch or a different change, or how would I, adjust my rep scheme here or there or whatever.
And another team, right? Another team that you knew they had some.
Yeah, you kind of see, if their strategy worked better than yours, and how that worked out. So, I mean, it's you got to have the dedication and the want to do that. And obviously, Coach is saying that there's a way to spend that time. Are you maybe hanging out with friends? Are we
gossiping? Are we on the negative end of it when we're hanging out even with our teammates?
Yeah,
or are we really getting around people that have that similar mindset?
And sharpening,
that no quit, right? We believe in the iron sharpening iron, not as a worldly term, but as a spiritual blueprint for who we hang out with and who we grab those nuggets from, right?
And I think like the people that go before you, like we were just hearing some of the NBA athletes talk about LeBron James, some of the great athletes, just saying how, and coaches saying how highly developed his IQ was. Like he's on the court, the opposing team is calling out a play and he's saying, they're going here, they're back cutting here, they're doing this. And like everyone was just kind of like, oh my God, he's calling out everything that like we're about to do.
And he's helping out the other team's players that don't know the plays. Like he's telling them where to go. And so look, that's how I was. Like I'm a big IQ guy. I coach basketball now. I beat most of my kids in terms of the teaching side purely from IQ. They can jump higher, they can run faster, right? They're younger by 20 plus years, but IQ is and don't let this one fool you too. Her IQ has taken her basketball game. I wish we had a before and after on that, because every week she comes back with another question to fine tune, and she's not. She plays basketball. She coaches with me for fun, but that discipline and that innate ability to say, how can I get better in the small things, not these massive things. It's not. We don't have to write a bunch of notes down. It's
and I'll say this
things.
Because I haven't been playing basketball, and I asked Coach, like, I'm asking him questions. He's saying in me that my superpower right now is the fact that I don't think I know everything. It's because I'm just trying to soak up so much information from Coach. Tell me this, tell me that. What about this? I see this. What do you see? What do you like? That's all I'm doing because I'm so new.
And she applies it instantly.
That's the only thing I know how to do, because I'm not trying to be something else. So whatever that is, as an athlete, you have coaches around you, like you need to suck that stuff up. But that's what the film study will do. And that's what, watching certain players will do. And that's what, not just watching highlights and games, getting into the depths of what these players do, like be a student of the game.
Yeah. Good wrap up.
Yeah. Obviously,
Number
3. Last but not least.
In-season training. We see it so much that our athletes get to the season and the first thing they want to do is put the training on the back burner. But then when they come around about halfway through the season, nicked up, right? Those little exhausted, right? Not understanding the grind of a season. You're going to lose some of those gains that you had at the beginning. You're going to have to rely on the foundation that you built in the off season.
In the maintenance within that, right.
And so, very important. I never came into camp out of shape, never. When my season ended, I went right to work, right? My nutrition is, I'm just on it. It's not because I'm special, it's because I've taken away motivation and I threw it in the trash. I said the one thing that's gonna help me is consistency and discipline. And that's that during the in-season training that we're talking about. That's the nutrition, that's the mindset, the IQ. So make sure you're training.
It takes your body out of the element of the wear and tear of the game, and then we can put you in another element and say, okay, let's look at what we're looking at. Let's make sure that we don't keep, weaknesses in these areas. This is where you're not on that heavy, like heavier, more intense training in your off season. But if you don't use it, you lose it. So we have to still maintain some proper structures, maintain the fact that there still needs to be a certain amount of like lifting, torque, rotation. You want to have some maintenance. We can work on some preventative stuff. We can work on in case there is a nick that comes up, right? There's just so many things you can do, especially if you're training here at Alpha. A lot of the accountability side of the things we're talking about, the film study and the nutrition, like now you have the accountability to keep that. So it's also just the environment that you put yourself in constant basis, like who are you rubbing elbows with? What mentors and coaches are you able to go to continue drawing from the well of information and from the support system? So that's a big thing too.
And it allows you to pivot. And I don't know if you guys really understand pivot. Pivoting is just saying, I came into the season, this is not working in terms of whether it's recovery, whether it's, I want it to have more speed, whatever the case is. And in the middle of the season, we can pivot and we say, okay, so we're not going to win in this area, but let's correct this area. Like Coach is saying, the deficiencies, maybe we have one side out of alignment, right? And so, or we're coming off of a major injury too, and you're just not used to that action again. So there's always things within the season. It's just not that physical.
Yeah, your training keeps you prepped for the physicality.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And a good coach, a good trainer knows those adjustments to still keep your body, in that bulletproof system as you're going through your season with all the impacts, especially when we talk about football.
Right. And just so you know, because we're talking about that, like our kids, like we clear up all the patella tendonitis really from all our athletes. When they're consistent and disciplined with their regimen, we're helping that go away. The lower back pain that typically comes with sports in general, contact sports, the shoulders, right, the knees, the ankles. You can go through the season and you can make it where by the time you get to the playoffs, if that's how it ended up for you, you're ready and you're peaking at the right time. And just being in this environment, just cultivating a winning attitude, right? And so that's what's important. What we give to our athletes in the season is like, now we can really work on them from day here to the next day when they're beat up a little bit, and we're just trying to help them get to the next game without losing so much confidence, because that's another secret weapon. Guys, you must be confident in what you do because you put in the work.
Right.
You're gonna meet someone that's better than you. Get used to it. You're gonna be better than someone else, right? Don't get comfortable, right? That thing switches, and that's that pivot is what I'm saying. One game you go in, you did well. Next game you got beat up. What's the learning portion of that, and how do you prepare and move forward so that when it's time to kick in the gears, the next gears in playoffs, when it really matters, right? In any sport, you're ready.
Right.
So guys, subscribe. If you want any of these, the tips that we're really giving you right now on a broad spectrum, if you want them to, to break them down for you, you can DM us. You can check us out We want to answer questions. We want to shake things up a little bit. There's a lot of old school things out there that we know they're not working, and you guys know they're not working. You just don't have an option and a solution. Well, Alpha Sports Performance will help you out. We will check you out on the next one. Have a blessed one.
Peace.
We'll talk soon.